I love how much texture and dimension you can get from 3D embossing folders. Let's compare the wood grain 3D embossing folder from Sizzix with the lumber 3D embossing folder. I'm using Craft Mix Media Heavy Stock, and I like to mist both sides of the cardstock lightly before putting it in my folder and then putting it through my Big Shot machine. And I'll go back and forth several times to really press those softened fibers of the paper into that 3D embossing folder. And you can see how much texture and dimension is pressed into that paper. Now we're going to do the same process with the lumber embossing folder. I mist the cardstock lightly on both sides, put it through the machine back and forth to really press that paper in. Sometimes when I'm doing it this way, if I'm going to use some sprays, I'll use it right away. Often I'll let it completely dry if I want a dry surface to work on. Here I'm spraying the one on the left, and immediately after that I'm using a bottle with water and spraying to just spread all of that ink around. For the one on the right, I'm using an ink pad, and I just rubbed it over the raised surface. Then I'm using that same spray bottle, and that's going to help that ink blend and bleed. But you'll see a lot more color variation with the one that I use the ink pad with than with the spray. It's great to be able to use different mediums in order to get different looks and really enhance that 3D texture.